Okay, we'll keep on moving. We are now to 9.0 if you're following along on your agenda. This is citizens participation, and the Lexington County School District 1 Board of Trustees provides a time for citizens participation at each regular board meeting. There are a few guidelines, of course, and first, in order to speak, you must be a parent or legal guardian of a student in Lexington County School District 1 or a resident and taxpayer of the district. Each speaker only has 3 minutes to address the board. Third, you may comment on an agenda item, school operations, programs, policies, or other matters of concern. However, you may not speak about specific individuals, whether students or staff. There are ways to bring those situations like that to the board's attention. We want to give everyone who came here tonight a chance to speak. For that reason, board members will not reply to individual remarks. If someone makes the point or points you came to make before you, if you could just state that you agree with the previous speakers and not restate every point, that would also help us. We also ask you not to clap or make any comments either while an individual is speaking or after a speaker finishes, as that slows down the process. If you wanted to speak tonight, we ask you to fill out a card that gives us your name and address for our records. These cards were at the sign-in table. I do have 3. They look like this. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board besides the 3 people who have already submitted cards? If you would, we will be glad to give you a card. Anybody else? Okay, Ms. Ham right here has cards if anybody else wants to speak. As stated earlier, you should not expect us to reply to your remarks. Although we may ask you a question as a board, we will not take any action tonight in response to issues you raise during citizens' participation. Okay. So at this time, I'm going to call up Ms. Sheena Havens. She is going to talk about bed bugs. She lives at 1073 Bob Shumpert Road in Pelion, and she has children at Pelion Elementary and Pelion Middle. Ms. Havens?
Do you want me to hold this?
Yes, please, because we're recording you.
Okay, my name is Sheena Havens, and I have 5 kids that go to Lexington School District 1. And I feel the state as a whole has a problem with bed bugs, and I'm assuming y'all treat regularly for ants and roaches and things like that, and as bed bugs seems to become a bigger problem, I feel like that maybe we should implement something like that in addition to what we already have. So that's my big concern.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, Ms. Havens. We'll now move on to Patricia Wheat. She is also going to talk about bed bugs, and she lives at, I need a street address.
940 water tank, but there's no bell receptacle there.
No, but I still need it. What is it?
940 water tank.
940
It's a lovely
water
name.
tank?
Water tank.
Water
yeah.
tank, okay. And that's in Pelion as well?
It
Okay,
is.
great. Okay, anyway, this is Patricia Wheat. She lives at 940 Water Tank Road in Pelion, South Carolina, and she has children at Pelion Elementary and Pelion High School. Ms. Wheat?
Actually, I have 9 children, grandchildren that
Okay,
attend.
that's fine.
And I have 9 children that attend in Lexington 1 schools. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my own experience. I purchased a comforter at Walmart, marked down, and I took it home and I put it in the corner of the room waiting for the painter to come paint the room before we put out the new linens and so forth. And by the time the painter got there, we had a bed bug infestation in that room. DHEC is derelict in their duty at minimum to not have a policy about bed bugs. The reason I bring that up is because by the school district not addressing bed bugs, and we have bed bugs in most of the schools in the district, as I've talked to parents and staff at schools in the district. The cost to rid my home of bed bugs was $3,500. I brought in home pest control. Now, I had a little bit extra expense because I had to have a grand piano moved out of the house because it can't stand the heat. The only way to rid your home of bed bugs effectively is to heat the building to 140 degrees minimum for a minimum of 24 hours. So obviously a grand piano can't deal with that kind of heat. So what we have, though, is when the kids come home, or when they come to my house after school, They literally have to change outside or in another building before they can come into my house. Because as children are going in and out of the building, out of the school, they're dragging bed bugs to their homes. People may not know it yet, but there are bed bugs in our homes now because the schools are not being treated.
The schools are being treated, but go ahead.
Not effectively. You know, when we have, I believe it's 6 letters already home from Pillion Elementary, and other parents in other schools are telling me they're getting letters home, and some are saying, we don't get letters home, but we know that there's bed bugs there. It's a problem. The district needs a policy. If kids are in an infested home and the home is not being treated, then they should not be allowed back into school. Because I don't think the average family in Lexington 1 can suffer a $2,000 to $3,500 blow because their kids dragging bed bugs home. The other thing is that when the kids are going in and out of the school and they're riding on the buses together, they're bringing those home, they're taking them back to school. They're bringing them home, they're taking them back to school. We're creating a major health crisis.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Week. Okay, now I'd like to call on Elisa Lucas. She lives at 336 Water Tank Road, and she has children at Pillion Elementary and Pillion High School. Elisa? Thank you.
Good evening. Tonight I would like to address the issue of bed bugs in schools across the district. There are several schools across our district that have battled this issue, to include Gilbert, Carolina Springs, Pillion, and Red Bank. I'm sure there are other schools with this issue as well, but I'm waiting on my FOIA request to be filled for these numbers. In your packets, you will see several letters that have been sent home this calendar year. These are not all the letters, just the ones I have been able to obtain so far. Many of those letters were sent home during the 2018-19 school year. There was plenty of time to take preventative measures over the school, but seeing as how 2 bed bug letters were sent home the first day of school, it would appear that no measures were taken. I've heard of other schools starting off the school year bagging items because it was such an ongoing issue last year. I also have something I would like to play for you regarding the issue at PES.
Room 204, 126, 301, 303, and 404.
Okay, and what was the reason those rooms needed
Bed
treatment?
bug.
There was bed bugs in there? Okay.
Yet here you are publishing articles claiming it's just a rumor. It's time to stop covering up and start addressing the issue. Typical feeding time for bed bugs is between 2 to 5 a.m., but they also feed during the day. In your packets, you have pictures of bed bug bites. These pictures have been presented to the principal of that school, yet the school was not treated. How do you expect students to focus on learning when they're being eaten up by bed bugs? Bed bug bites can cause many health side effects. Allergic reactions to bed bugs include hives, panting, and even anaphylaxis. Other side effects include anxiety and insomnia. A study has proven that bed bugs can transmit a parasite that causes Chagas disease. These parasites hide in the heart and digestive muscles. These side effects are a complete distraction when it comes to a student's ability to learn. Bed bugs pose many health risks physically and mentally to our children in schools. We need to address this issue with policy and stop letting people just brush it off as rumor. I've also included your packets information on recommended treatment by licensed exterminators, portions of an existing policy in Greenwood schools, and other preventative measures that can be taken to help limit the spread of the bugs. Those policies include treatment of rooms with specified chemicals, bagging of items in the classroom and the school bus. Currently, bags are removed from students before students get on the bus. Notifying all parents when there is a bed bug in school. Inspection of the classroom by a licensed professional within 24 hours of finding a bed bug. Making resources for treatment more readily available to parents throughout the district. This is an issue in schools across this district that will continue to spread if not properly addressed now. All we are asking for is a policy to help minimize the spread and proper treatment of the schools. If you are not willing to implement this policy, then I challenge each of you to go sit for a day in the classrooms where bed bugs have been found, as you expect our students and teachers to do. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Lucas.
I have a question. That recording you played, who was that?
That was Christy, the office manager at the original Bugman.
And were those room numbers?
Yes, those were the room numbers that were diagnosed or listed for treatment.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.